Hey there, West Michigan. Thanks for watching 13 Plus. I'm meteorologist Michael Behrens. It has been a cold Saturday out there with some snowfall across the region, but much like most of the nights this week, a little bit of sunshine came through near the end of the day. It was very little today, right there on the edge of the horizon. You can see a nice little pillar coming up from the sunset too. All those ice crystals in the air making for an interesting view to end the day. Thanks to Kale for sending in this picture from Rockford. Of course, if you want to send us your photos, you can always find me on social media. Meteorologist Michael Behrens on Facebook and at Mike Behrens WX on the X, Twitter, Instagram, and Threads. When it came to temperatures today, so far we've hit a high of 26 in Grand Rapids, 31 in Muskegon, 28 in Holland. Those temperatures below average for this time of the year, but currently a bullseye with our forecast. Have hit 26, told you 26, brings the accuracy streak to 9 days in a row. When it comes to tomorrow, temperatures continue an upward trend, or start an upward trend. That's why 13 weather ball is lit up in red as warmer temperatures are ahead.
The 13 on your side weather ball, sponsored by LaFontaine Ford Grand Rapids.
Those warm temperatures, they'll start moving in tonight. In fact, we were telling you last night that the high temperature today was going to happen close to midnight, and that's what we're seeing develop across the region. As of 10 o'clock, we've made our way to 26 in Grand Rapids, 31 in Muskegon, and 28 in Holland. These temperatures will continue to trickle upward between now and midnight with a rising trend that continues all night long, and it's largely driven by strong west-southwesterly winds. Right now, those winds gusting almost to 40 miles per hour in Grand Rapids. Same in Muskegon, up to 41 in Holland. It is going to be quite a windy night out there, and despite the warmer air pushing in, it's still going to feel very chilly. In fact, feels like temperatures as of 10 o'clock, 10 degrees in Grand Rapids, feels like 4 in Kalamazoo, 3 Battle Creek, and 7 in Ionia. Those winds overnight, again, stay gusty, 30 to 40 mile per hour gusts between now and sunrise Sunday. We'll see gusts start to back down into the 20s by Sunday afternoon, eventually going back to pretty quiet levels as we head into Sunday night. Between now and then, though, wind chill's a factor. We'll see feels like conditions overnight in the teens and single digits in some spots. Those will feel like 20-degree temperatures throughout most of the day tomorrow and even into Monday before things start to feel a little more comfortable. Speaking of feeling more comfortable, we are on a warming pattern. We'll go from the 20s overnight tonight into the low 30s for tomorrow. Temperatures will return to the 40s as we head into Monday afternoon, with fairly cloudy skies sticking around as we head into the start of the week. As of this evening, most of the snow has left West Michigan. We can't rule out a stray flurry or light area of lake effect snow tonight. Most of that going to be north of Grand Rapids, US 10 and north. We'll have the best chance for some additional snowfall tonight, but overall not expecting really much of anything of impact. Hour by hour forecast here shows cloudy skies continuing tonight. That small risk for a flurry or two as we head through tonight and into tomorrow. Mostly cloudy skies and a stray flurry possible throughout the day Sunday before things turn partly cloudy as we head into the start of the week. We'll stay partly cloudy throughout the day on Monday, with partly cloudy skies also expected as we head through Monday night and into the day on Tuesday. As far as snowfall that comes from what could fall tonight, again, not expecting much. Very light snow, maybe a trace to as much as half an inch if you get under the right lake effect band, but that chance is really going to be Big Rapids into the north. Everyone else really not expecting to see any snowfall in the next 24 hours. Speaking of 24 hours from now, here's what we're looking at for Sunday afternoon. We'll see temperatures hanging around in the 30s out there. I guess that's more like 12 hours from now. Windy conditions as we head throughout the day tomorrow, backing down with the winds in the afternoon. We'll be in the low 30s for our northern counties, with temperatures that will be around in the 30s from Grand Rapids down to Kalamazoo as well. 13 on your side, 10-day outlook. Temperatures will keep rising this week. We'll be up to the upper 40s for Tuesday, close to 50 Wednesday as a small chance for rain pushes through. Temperatures falling toward the end of the week, with 30s returning for Friday and Saturday. We'll warm temperatures back up into the 50s by the end of the 10-day, with another chance for rain as we head toward day 10. And this recent blast of cold weather is reminding us it is still the winter season, but overall it's been a mild one. And now an Upper Peninsula sheriff is warning of the changing ice conditions after a rescue this past week. Delta County deputies responded to a bay near Escanaba on Tuesday morning for a four-wheeler that had fallen through the ice. Once on scene, deputies determined the ice was not safe. Their new rescue equipment was used to keep deputies safe and make the rescue. They used drones to locate the victim 1 mile from shore and prepare rescuers for the conditions. The ice rescue team used an airboat to safely reach the victim and pull them from the water. And even mild winters can have an impact on structures around West Michigan, and those impacts need to be mitigated and repaired. But when a Ludington State Park closes for renovations this year, it's going to have a big impact on the maintenance of such structures like the Big Sauble Lighthouse and several others on Lake Michigan. It was announced earlier this week that the park will be closed from September 3rd of this year until July 1st of 2025 for improvements and upgrades. A $4.26 million grant from the state will pay for the work. The Lightkeepers Association that pays to take care of the lighthouse expects to lose more than $100,000 needed for maintenance.
With wind abrasion, winters, of course, in Michigan, that freezing and thawing, it's actually getting into the walls of the tower. There's some holes there that are rusting through. So there's going to be some significant expenditures at that site, and certainly being closed down for these 4 months is going to be a troubling path for the organization coming up here short term.
To help make up for the loss, the Sauble Point Lighthouse Keepers Association held a silent auction at Ludington Bay Brewing Company. Past auctions have raised just over $10,000. Organizers hope that this year's event raises much more. If you bought an electric car this year, you're not alone. They're more popular now than ever, but there are some things about operating a battery-powered car you should be aware of in the winter. Verify's Casey Decker explains.
Below zero temperatures have swept large swaths of the country, causing some unexpected hiccups for owners of electric vehicles. Drivers have reported their cars are losing juice more quickly than normal, in turn causing long lines at charging stations. One of our viewers, Martha, asked, do electric vehicles lose range, meaning the distance they can travel on a single battery charge in cold weather? So Martha, let's verify. Our sources are Consumer Reports, AAA, and 2 academic researchers who specialize in electric vehicles. Consumer Reports released a study where they ran numerous EVs in different seasons, controlling for all variables but temperature. The study found that at 16 degrees Fahrenheit, the cars on average could only go about 3/4 of the distance they could travel at 65 degrees. A similar study by AAA a few years ago showed similar results. The cars back then actually performed even worse in cold weather. So we can verify, yes, electric vehicles lose range in cold weather. So why is that? The biggest reason is simply the need to keep the driver comfortable. Gas-powered cars generate heat by burning fuel, and that heat can just be pumped into the cabin. But EVs need to generate heat independently, meaning the battery now has 2 jobs in cold weather, propelling the car and heating the cabin.
Electric cars are way more efficient. Most of the energy is being used to move the car, and there's not so much excess heat that is being created. A little bit, but not much. So when we need to heat the cabin where we sit, we actually need to use more energy, and that lower the range of the car.
The good news, the loss of range shouldn't affect most drivers. On longer trips, you will need to recharge more often in cold weather, but for a daily commute, it shouldn't make much of a difference. With your Verify, I'm Casey Decker.
Now to a health alert. A report found that there are chemicals in food that may be bad for your health. These are chemicals that are found in plastics that we come into contact with every day. ABC News' M. Nguyen explains.
Plastics are everywhere in bottles, containers, and food packaging. Consumer Reports recently tested a wide variety of foods for chemicals and plastics that can be harmful to your health.
It's kind of surprising because people think of plastic as sort of inert, like you put something into plastic, but it remains separate from whatever you put inside of it. But on a chemical level, it doesn't really work that way because some of the chemicals that make up plastic can leach out into the food.
Consumer Reports tested for 2 chemicals commonly used in plastics, phthalates and bisphenols. They found phthalates in almost every food they tested and bisphenols in most of them.
The main concern with these chemicals are that they're what's known as endocrine disruptors, which basically means that they interfere with the way that your hormones should work in your body. And because your hormones affect pretty much everything, they can have a really wide range of effects, especially over a long period of time.
So what can you do to limit your exposure to these chemicals? Consumer Reports has some tips.
The number one tip is not using plastic containers, especially for hot food in the kitchen. So not putting them in the microwave, not putting them in the dishwasher, not dumping hot food into plastic containers. That's sort of one of the main ways you can be exposed to leaching.
Limit the amount of certain types of food.
In our report where we tested 85 foods, we found that fast food had some of the highest rates of these chemicals.
Other tips include using water bottles made of steel or glass instead of plastic, switching to wood or silicone for kitchen tools like spatulas, and eating more fresh, minimally processed foods. M. Nguyen, ABC News, Washington.
And finally tonight, check this out. It gets cold in Michigan, but not quite this cold. In fact, there's a new record holder for cold, giving us another example of what the human body is capable of. A woman in Poland recently set the new record for longest time spent fully submerged in ice with a time of 3 hours and 6 minutes. At 48 years old, she underwent a number of medical tests and practice runs to make sure her body was healthy enough to handle the situation. She said afterwards she barely felt cold at all, as she can trick her mind into finding warmth in the situation. Also, she wants to encourage more women to compete in ice challenges, saying, quote, "I believe we have great strength as women." Very impressive challenge there. Of course, now that you're up to date with the latest news and weather headlines, you can always find more online at 13onyourside.com or by downloading our news and weather apps. For now, though, thanks for watching 13 Plus. I'm meteorologist Michael Behrens.